All right, so today we're diving into something pretty interesting. Mira Murati,
Oh, yeah.
the former CTO of OpenAI,
Right.
has launched a new venture called Thinking Machines Lab.
Oh, okay.
And you might remember Murati as a key figure behind ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
So this new project has everyone in the AI world buzzing.
Yeah, it's definitely raising some eyebrows, you know?
Yeah.
OpenAI is really at the forefront of like all this AI development. So
Right.
for Murati to step down and start something completely new,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. So what's the mission here?
Yeah.
What is Thinking Machines Lab all about?
Well, their website is still pretty sparse on the details, but we do have a few clues.
Okay.
Murati herself tweeted about it,
Okay.
saying they're focused on helping people adapt AI systems to work for their specific needs,
Okay.
also developing strong foundations to build more capable AI systems,
Got it.
and fostering a culture of open science.
Okay, so let's unpack that.
Sure.
We've got customization, we've got pushing the boundaries of AI capability,
Yeah.
and then we have this idea of open science.
Yeah.
So what's your take on these themes?
Well, I think what's really interesting here is the contrast with what we're seeing from other
Right.
big players in the AI world.
Yeah.
You know, companies like Anthropic and Safe Superintelligence.
Yeah.
They seem to be laser focused on creating AI that surpasses human intelligence.
Right.
Almost like they're in this race towards some kind of singularity.
Right. Almost a Terminator-esque vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
But Thinking Machines Lab seems to be going in like a completely different direction.
Yeah.
They're emphasizing human AI collaboration.
Right.
So are they like betting against the singularity, or is this a way to sidestep the risks of superintelligence?
Yeah, it's really hard to say for sure at this point.
Yeah.
But their emphasis on open science,
Yeah.
I think that suggests that they're at least interested in a more collaborative and transparent approach to AI development.
So what does open science actually mean in the context of AI?
Well, I think it's about breaking down those walls that often exist in AI research.
Okay.
So we're talking more collaboration between researchers, more sharing of data and findings,
Okay.
and a greater emphasis on public understanding of how these systems actually work.
That's interesting. It seems like they're saying, hey, AI is too important to be developed in secrecy.
Yeah,
Let's get everyone involved.
exactly.
And their website specifically mentions building systems that work with people, not just autonomously.
Right.
They talk about AI that can adapt to the full spectrum of human expertise
Yeah,
and enable a broader spectrum of applications.
definitely. So less about AI replacing humans,
Right.
and more about AI becoming like a super smart sidekick,
Yeah.
able to adapt to different fields and different ways of working.
That's a really interesting way to put it. So it sounds like it's less about AI replacing humans
Yeah.
and more about AI becoming our super smart sidekick,
Yeah,
able to adapt to different fields and ways of working.
exactly. That's how I see it.
Yeah. And the emphasis on customization is intriguing.
Yeah.
They talk about AI that can be tailored to specific needs and values,
Yeah.
which suggests they're thinking about how to make AI truly personal
Right.
and aligned with like individual goals. I mean, we've all had that experience with chatbots where
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you try to explain what you need
Yeah.
and they just don't get it.
Totally.
You mentioned the interaction layer.
Yeah.
Is this what Thinking Machines Lab is trying to solve?
It seems that way. I think the way we interact with AI today is pretty clunky.
Yeah.
We're mostly limited to typing in commands or questions.
Right.
But if AI is going to be truly collaborative,
Yeah.
it needs to understand our nuances,
Okay.
our individual styles,
Yeah.
and even our unspoken intentions.
Wow.
I think Thinking Machines Lab's focus on this customization could be a really big step in that direction.
It makes you wonder, though, if truly personalized AI requires a deep understanding of our values,
Yeah.
even our subconscious biases. Is that even possible?
Right.
Or are we heading toward an echo chamber of our own making?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
And it's one that I'm sure Thinking Machines Lab is thinking about a lot.
Yeah.
The ethical implications of personalized AI are huge.
Right.
We'll need to have some really serious conversations about how to make sure that these systems are used responsibly.
Absolutely. Okay, so they're focused on human AI collaboration, open science, and personalization,
Yeah.
but they're not just trying to make AI easier to use, right?
Right.
They also want to push the boundaries of what AI can do,
That's right.
particularly in science and programming.
Yeah, they highlight model intelligence as a cornerstone of their approach.
Okay.
And they've assembled this incredible team,
Yeah.
like real heavy hitters.
Yeah.
People who have been at the forefront of developing these massive AI systems, like
yeah.
ChatGPT character, AI Mistral PyTorch. The list goes on and on.
Yeah. So they've got the talent, the vision, and this commitment to open science.
Right.
Where do they go from here?
Yeah, that's a great question.
What are the next steps for Thinking Machines Lab?
Well, they haven't released any details about their funding or specific projects yet,
Okay.
so we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But based on their team and Murati's background,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that we can expect some really innovative things from them.
I'm excited to see what they do. So stay tuned, folks, as we dig deeper into Thinking Machines Lab
Yeah?
and what their work could mean for the future of AI in part 2 of our deep dive.
I'll be here.
All right. So we've talked a lot about Thinking Machines Lab's goals, but
Yeah.
I'm curious about the practical side of things.
Okay.
What would it actually look like
Right.
to collaborate with an AI system in this way?
That's the question everyone's asking, right?
Right.
It's one thing to say human-AI collaboration,
Yeah.
but it's a whole other thing to actually make it work
Yeah.
seamlessly in the real world.
Exactly. And Thinking Machines Lab mentions building these multimodal systems.
Uh-huh.
I know we touched on that briefly before, but could you explain a bit more about what that means and why it's important?
Sure. So multimodal systems combine different types of input and output.
Okay.
So not just text, but also images, sounds,
Okay.
and maybe even sensory data, in the future.
Right.
And this is crucial because it allows for a much more natural and intuitive way
Okay.
of interacting with AI.
Okay. I'm starting to see the possibilities here.
Yeah,
Instead of just being limited to typing commands into a chatbot,
right.
we could have a back and forth that feels more like a conversation with a human collaborator.
Exactly. Imagine being able to, sketch out a design concept on a digital whiteboard.
Yeah.
And have the AI offer suggestions or refine your ideas in real time.
Right.
Or picture a scientist
Yeah.
being able to describe a complex research problem
Yeah.
in their own words, and then have the AI help them to design experiments or analyze data.
Wow. That's a far cry from the current state of AI assistance where
Oh, yeah.
you often have to translate your thoughts into very specific commands.
Absolutely. It is. And this ties back to Thinking Machines Lab's focus on customization.
Oh, yeah.
If AI can understand different modes of communication
Yeah.
and adapt to individual ways of working,
Right.
it could become a truly powerful tool
Okay.
for amplifying human creativity and productivity.
So while some at Davos were buzzing about these AI agents
Uh-huh.
handling mundane tasks,
Right.
Thinking Machines Lab's focus on deep scientific applications and creative collaboration seems almost countercultural.
Yeah.
Are they just ignoring a huge market, or are they onto something bigger?
It's a good question. There's definitely a lot of hype around those AI agents
Yeah.
that can automate everyday tasks.
Right.
But I think Thinking Machines Lab might be betting on a future
Okay.
where AI is less about replacing humans
Mhm.
and more about augmenting our abilities in those areas where we excel,
Right.
like science, art, design, problem solving.
So it's like they're saying, let AI handle the things that machines are good at.
Yeah.
And let's focus on those uniquely human aspects of creativity and innovation.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And that's where their commitment to open science
Right.
could be a real game changer.
Definitely. By sharing their research findings
Yeah.
and collaborating with the wider community, they could accelerate the development of these kinds of advanced AI systems
Yeah.
and make them more accessible to everyone.
Speaking of accessibility, we haven't talked much about the financial side of things.
Right.
Building these kinds of advanced AI systems
Yeah.
requires serious resources.
It does.
Do we know anything about how Thinking Machines Lab is funded?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
They've been pretty quiet about their funding sources so far, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Especially for a venture founded by someone with Murati's reputation. It makes you wonder if they're deliberately keeping a low profile
Right.
or maybe exploring some alternative funding models.
That's really interesting.
Hmm.
Maybe they're pursuing a public-private partnership,
Could be.
given their emphasis on open science
Yeah.
and the potential societal benefits of their work.
That would certainly be a different approach.
Yeah.
It would signal a different approach to AI development.
Right.
One that prioritizes broader societal impact over purely commercial interests.
We've been talking a lot about the potential benefits of Thinking Machines Lab's vision. But there are also risks to consider.
Of course.
In part one, we talked about the ethical implications of personalized AI.
Yeah.
What other potential downsides should we be thinking about?
One concern is that if AI gets too good
Okay.
at adapting to our individual preferences,
Right.
it could actually reinforce our existing biases
Yeah.
and limit our exposure to new ideas and perspectives.
It's like the filter bubble problem on social media, but amplified.
Yeah, exactly.
We could end up in echo chambers of our own making.
Exactly. Another risk is over-reliance. You know, if we become too dependent on AI to do our thinking for us,
Right.
it could stifle human creativity and problem-solving abilities in the long run.
So how do we balance the potential benefits of this technology
Right.
with the potential risks?
Yeah.
Is it even possible to create AI that's both powerful and responsible?
That's the challenge facing not just Thinking Machines Lab,
Yeah.
but like the entire AI field.
Right.
And it's a challenge that I think we need to address head on.
Yeah.
Open dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
ethical frameworks,
Yeah.
robust testing.
Okay.
These are all crucial.
It sounds like Thinking Machines Lab, with their emphasis on open science and human AI collaboration,
Right.
could be uniquely positioned to contribute to these conversations.
I think so. I think they seem to be taking a very thoughtful and nuanced approach to AI development.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it will take a collective effort
Yeah.
to make sure that AI is used for good and that its benefits are shared widely.
That's a perfect segue to part 3 of our deep dive,
Right.
where we'll explore what Thinking Machines Lab's work could mean for the average person,
Awesome.
and how we can all play a role in shaping the future of AI. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive,
Yeah.
from Thinking Machines Lab's goals
Right.
to the potential benefits and risks
Such an
of their approach. But let's bring it back down to earth for a moment.
Okay.
What does all this mean
Right.
for the average person?
That's the question we all want answered, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in like
Yeah.
all the technical details and
Yeah.
the big picture implications,
Right.
but ultimately, we want to know how this is going to affect our lives.
Exactly. Will we all have personalized AI sidekicks
Yeah.
helping us with our daily tasks,
Ah.
and creative endeavors?
Right.
Or is this something that will only be accessible to a select few?
I think Thinking Machines Lab's emphasis on accessibility and open science
Okay.
suggests that they want to make these tools widely available. Their
Yeah.
focus on customization also points to a future where AI is not a one-size-fits-all solution,
Right.
but something that can be tailored to individual needs and goals.
Okay. So let's play that out a bit.
Sure.
What would it actually look like
Okay.
to have AI integrated into our everyday lives in this way?
Imagine a world
Right.
where instead of struggling to learn new software
Uh-huh.
or wrestling with a complex task, you have an AI assistant
Right.
that understands your learning style
Okay.
and can guide you through the process step by step,
You're right.
adapting to your pace
Yeah.
and offering personalized feedback.
That would be a game changer
Totally.
for education and professional development.
Oh, yeah.
No more sifting through like generic online tutorials
Right.
or feeling lost in a sea of information.
Exactly. And it's not just about learning new skills.
Okay.
Think about creative pursuits.
Yeah.
Imagine an aspiring musician
Okay.
working with an AI
Uh-huh.
that can help them compose music,
Okay.
experiment with different sounds. Yeah.
And even provide feedback on their performance.
So instead of AI replacing human creativity,
Right.
it's almost like having a creative partner,
Yeah.
someone to bounce ideas off of
It's
and
cool.
explore new possibilities with.
Exactly. And because Thinking Machines Lab is focused on building AI that can work across different domains,
Yeah.
the potential applications are vast.
Okay.
I mean, whether you're a writer, a designer, an entrepreneur, a scientist,
Right.
there's this possibility of having AI tools that can augment your abilities and help you achieve your goals.
It's exciting to think about the potential.
Yeah,
But it's also a bit overwhelming.
it is.
If AI becomes this integrated into our lives,
Right.
how do we make sure that it's used responsibly?
Yeah.
We've talked about some of the risks, like filter bubbles and over-reliance.
Right.
How do we mitigate those concerns?
Well, I think Thinking Machines Lab's commitment to open science is a good starting point
Okay.
by making their research transparent
Correct.
and encouraging collaboration.
Yeah. They're inviting scrutiny and feedback from the wider community.
So it's less about one company dictating the future of AI
Right.
and more about like a collective effort
Yeah.
to shape this technology
Right.
in a way that benefits everyone.
Exactly. And ultimately, it comes down to individual responsibility as well.
Oh.
We need to be mindful of how we're using AI to question its outputs.
Right.
And to ensure that we're not surrendering our own critical thinking skills.
That's a powerful message to end on. The future of AI is not predetermined.
Right.
It's something we're all actively shaping with our choices and our actions.
Definitely.
And as we've explored in this deep dive, Thinking Machines Lab, with their focus on human-AI collaboration and open science, could be a force for good in this evolving landscape.
For sure.
If AI could be truly tailored to your individual needs and values,
Right.
what would you want it to help you with? It's a question worth pondering as we navigate this exciting and uncharted territory.